Hello guys, we have a 9-game slate for Tuesday, starting with Atlanta at Cleveland. For Atlanta, mostly these guys, Cam Reddish, he's going to be probable. So still, Gallinari, he's going to remain a value option at 4,800. Against Cleveland, definitely not a matchup that we need to be scared of. Now, Trae Young, 9,700, Garland, Sexton, just not really good defenders, so he's definitely going to be in play. Now, Capella, he and Collins are just very difficult. Like, they always feel like tournament plays, but here in this matchup, I think Capella against Jared Allen, that's going to be, something that's going to be tough for Capella. So I think John Collins can actually be a pretty good play here. And one, he has power for eligibility. Second, he's a lot cheaper than Capella. And Cleveland, the matchup, they haven't been good against power forwards this year. And now they don't have Taurean Prince. They're going to have Chetty Osman, who is definitely not strong enough, not big enough to handle Collins. So I really like Collins right here in this spot. Now, Reddish, because he's probable. I'm not going to be playing Herter, especially with Trae Young available. So I think Collins and then Trae, Gallinari, probably the guys that stand out here for Cleveland. Jared Allen, 7,500. He had a monster game last time. He shot 11 of 11. Obviously, don't expect that. Don't expect 42 minutes either. He definitely has his upside. And Atlanta, the matchup, the pace is good. The defense, though, the matchup for centers, it's not that great because Capella, he's big. John Collins, they have size. They have really good rebounds that can contain Jared Allen. So, yeah, he might be kind of popular. I don't hate it, but I also don't think that he should be really like a core play. I don't want him if he's really that popular. Sexton, 7,200, like that's probably priced right. Maybe a little bit too expensive. Garland prices up a little bit now. I think there's still a little bit of meat on the bone, but like it doesn't feel that great on a 9-game slate. Chetty Osman, his minutes aren't going to be that good because a Windler is back and that's cutting it in. Okoro, same thing. Like he gets a lot of minutes, but just his usage, he's not really that productive. Now Detroit, Orlando. Detroit, we have to talk about the point guard situation. They started Dennis Smith Jr., but he was just really bad, and so Saban Lee came off the bench and played really well. Now, because this is more of a cash game build, I'm going to include Saban Lee in the core. But know that for tournaments, this is easily a guy that can get away from. Obviously, Sam Lee, he's not proven yet. And, I mean, you're asking a guy to do it again, to put up a monster game, which against Orlando, their defense hasn't been the same, but they always play at a really slow pace. Dennis Smith is probably still going to start. So if he plays well, he probably can definitely play more than what he played last time. So that's one way you can just be different for tournaments. You just play Dennis Smith over Lee, or you just play some other point guard on a different team. Now, the main guys with Grant, Plumlee, they're okay here, but again, it's Orlando. The matchup's not going to be that easy. It's just a slow pace. It's not going to be high scoring. So, yeah, not too much. I think the main interest is going to be the point guard situation. Now, Orlando, they still have some injuries, but the prices are kind of up now. Like Vooch, 10.2, not really. I don't want to pay that. Fournier has been playing really well, but I don't think you can really ask like for that to sustain. Carl Williams prices up, Terrence Ross, same thing. So Magic, not really a team I want. Now Sacramento at Brooklyn, this is going to be just one of the best games probably. Now hopefully Sacramento can keep it close. Harrison Barnes, he's questionable. If he plays, he's probably going to be on a minutes limit because that's something that they've been doing. I think Fox is still going to be the best play here. He just stands out a lot. Brooklyn, poor defense, play at a fast pace. Halliburton and Buddy, I think because DK, the 3-point bonus, I'm going to prefer Buddy there. And I just think that if they're going to stay in this game, they need that offensive firepower. And it's going to come from Fox and Hield. Obviously, Halliburton can do it, but with him being more strong than Buddy, I think I just prefer Buddy. And then Bagley and Holmes, their minutes, they will fluctuate. I think Holmes, this being his second game back, we saw Bagley when he was supposedly limited, but because he said that he wanted to play, he felt good, he was playing well, that Luke Walton just left him out there, and then he played 35 minutes. So Chicago, now this is Brooklyn, so the matchup's really good. I really like Holmes because first, he's just a little bit cheaper. Now, his minutes, because again, it's the second game back, it was a blowout, so he didn't even come back, and he also got in foul trouble in the second quarter, so we could easily see him play over 30 minutes, and if he does play like his normal minutes, he's way too cheap at 5,600 in a wonderful matchup. So I really like Holmes. And then Brooklyn side, Harden, Kyrie still without KD. So yeah, I'm gonna like those guys Prefer Kyrie a little bit because he's just 2,000 cheaper. And also he's got shooting guard eligibility. Now, we might have some value in Bruce Brown if Jeff Green, TLC miss, because when these guys left the game, they basically ran a very short rotation. It was like an 8-man. And so Bruce Brown, we've seen him start, but his minutes just being like a mid-20s. But because of the injuries, he got up to 34. And he's not super productive because you're playing alongside Curry and Harden. But 4,500, if all these guys are going to be out, this is one of the best matchups again for fantasy. So he could be a value play if all those guys are out. Now, Boston and Dallas. Boston's probably going to be healthy here. Last game, they blew a lead, and a lot of people saw what Kemba Walker did. He was just playing really poorly. But that's why I kind of like him here. Against Dallas, Dallas is a team that has been pretty, actually, bad defensively this year. And when Dallas plays at home, they usually are in a lot of shootouts. So with Dallas on a back-to-back, Boston playing away, I think they should definitely keep this game close. I think they can definitely win this too. And Kemba, if he plays well, he can definitely get more minutes. It was an OT game here, so he was on pace to play 31, but he can get 34. It's been a while since that 30-minute limit restriction. And again, Dallas against point guards, they've been really bad. They've allowed a lot of points in this position. Robert Williams is going to be probably popular, and this is someone that I can definitely fade. Now, I don't want to say complete fade because he has just enormous upside. He can 10x this. He's been playing so well that I expect him to get like 15 to 20 minutes. There's definitely a chance he can play more. Now, with this being a back-to-back for Dallas, I think Porzingis just rested because they were playing Memphis. This is a tougher opponent. So, Robert Williams, 3,900, he definitely is still cheap. I definitely want some exposure, but if he's very chalky, you can definitely just fade him because he has really a single-digit floor. Now, for the Dallas side, because I expect Porzingis to be back, I'm not going to be playing DFS, Kleber, Cauley-Stein, Powell. Luka still 11.2. Even with Porzingis back, he's still playable, but Boston is definitely a team that is pretty good defensively. So right now, I don't think we're going to have any core plays for Dallas. Golden State side, Steph Curry, Wiseman, Looney, all questionable, so we're going to have to monitor this. If Curry is out, then we're at 6,900. He's going to look really good because he basically is going to be the number one option. And then obviously Wiggins and whoever they start, maybe they start Mulder again, or they can do Wanamaker because he played really well last time. But even if these guys start, they got some really low floors. If Wiseman and Looney are back, that's going to hurt Draymond Green and Toscano Anderson because Draymond's not going to have to play center as much, and that's just going to mean less rebounds. Now for the Knicks, still Mitchell Robinson's out, so Randall, Noel, they get the boost. Now with these prices, Randall, he's not a must-play, 9,300, and he's probably going to see a lot of Draymond Green. RJ Barrett, 5,500. Some of these starters for the Knicks, they just lose minutes even though they start. So RJ, he definitely has the upside because he can definitely play well, earn those closing minutes. But they're pretty much everyone here is just tournament only. Philly, Toronto, Seth Curry, he could miss this game. If he's out, he could definitely benefit Danny Green. But do you really want to play Danny Green when the main three guys are healthy? Shake Milton, he's someone who also benefits because of obviously the position. But if this game were to get out of hand, they could definitely run Shake Milton a lot towards the end of the half. So, 3,900, that's definitely a good price for some really good upside. But because these prices for the main three guys are probably way too expensive because of some injuries so far in the past, they're just not priced right now where we can play them. Now, Toronto and Lowry, questionable. If Lowry's going to be in without restrictions, he looks really good at 7,100. If he's out, I think Van Vliet, Siakam, they still look good. They're just going to play close or over 40 minutes even, and they're playing at home. As long as they can keep this game close, it's going to be these two guys doing it. Now, Powell, he's a little bit expensive. OG, 5,300. He looks kind of interesting if his minutes restriction can get up to maybe 35 because he is pretty cheap. Now, Bembry got into foul trouble last game, so that's why his minutes were limited. 3,600. Not a play that you're going to love, but if you really need to go down and save Bembry, he could be an option. Baines, but tough match against Embiid. And then we got Minnesota and Milwaukee. This is going to be the first game since Ryan Saunders got fired, so Minnesota could come out motivated. It's a very tough matchup. You're asking them to beat Milwaukee, but maybe they can keep this game close. And if they are, Towns, Beasley, Edwards, they're gonna have to do a lot. Towns, he was in foul trouble last game. He actually got like I think 4 fouls maybe in the second. So he got subbed out early and he just lost minutes. So he should definitely play more than the 31. And Milwaukee Towns against Brook Lopez. Lopez is a rim protector, but not particularly good one-on-one post defense. He's more of a shot blocker again. So I like Towns. If they're going to be in this game, Towns has to have a big game. Beasley, Edwards, they all still look good with D'Lo out. Something to mention is Juancho Hernan-Gomez. He was back in the rotation, so it's going to hurt McDaniels and Vanderbilt. Now Milwaukee, still without Drew Holiday. That's just going to be more usage, more assists for Middleton and Giannis, so they're going to look great. Prefer Giannis just because Middleton was over 8K, not someone I really want to target, but this is a very good matchup. So, he's still in play, but I'd just rather get to Giannis. Now, DJ Augustine before he joined, his price is a little bit higher, so not as great a value play. Portland and Denver, Portland side, they're not back-to-back, but they definitely need a win. They don't usually rest, so they also got blown out, so they're not really that tired. Denver, tough matchup, but Lillard 10.4K. There's no Gary Harris, so defensively Lillard shouldn't have much problem. So I do have interest in Lillard. Canner, it's going to be tough against Jokic, but they probably need to play him a lot, trying to match Jokic's minutes because they don't have size. Like they could definitely play Rocco and just double, but it's going to be tough for Portland to handle Jokic. Derek Jones Jr. 5K, he's more of a value guy, but at 5K that's not value. That's just too expensive. Now the Denver side, their lineup last time closing, started. They played Zeke Nanji as a starter. Barn, obviously Porter, but they didn't close with Barn or Porter. They closed with Monte Morris and Campazzo. So the minutes here, they're concerning, but against Portland, it's a good matchup. If Barn or Porter, they play well, they can definitely close. So I still think that they make for good tournament options. So definitely have some of them. Murray's is playing out of his mind. Like I can't expect him to continue this, but again, this is a very good matchup. So it wouldn't surprise me, but just these studs, they're just great for Denver. It's a great matchup. Now, last game, Washington and LA. So Westbrook's going to be on a back-to-back. He's played, I think, in 1 or 2 back-to-backs this year, so he could play again because the Clippers, the Wizards have been on a roll. Maybe because they want to try to win this game again. There's no travel here. Maybe he plays. Now, if he rests, then Beal's going to look good. Defensively, it's going to be kind of tough because Kawhi and Paul George, but Raul Neto, if you don't want to pay for Beal, he could be a value, but he also got Patrick Beverley. So defensively, this could be hard for the Wizards if Westbrook's out. They could definitely get blown out. Now, for the Clippers side, Paul George went on minutes limit. 32, 33. He was benched for the final 2 minutes, which it was just bad coaching really for Ty Lue. This is a very good matchup. He can still get there even if he's still limited at 33 minutes. I actually going to play maybe 35. Now this game's close, so his price though, Kawhi, same thing. It's a great matchup, but for the prices, how healthy they are, it's kind of tough to get to them. I think I'd rather go to the Nets, Harden, Kyrie, or the Bucks with Giannis. So not really going to be core plays, but I definitely think that they have some interest here. So again, the cash, remember this is a cash core, so that's why I'm going to be putting in Saban Lee. Kermits, again, you can get away from him easily. And then Atlanta's going to be John Collins, Rashawn Holmes from the Sacramento-Brooklyn game. And then the other side is going to be Kyrie Irving. And then it's going to be Kemba Walker. So that's going to be the core 5 for right now. 9 games, and also a lot of teams in the back-to-back. So make sure you monitor the news on Twitter. Twitter's at Ballfuls, link will be in the description below. Please leave a like before you go, and good luck on this night, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.